Hello class, hope everybody are fine. We have already learnt about the first part of the lesson tissues. We have studied about plant tissues. To recall once again, there are two types of plant tissues, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Permanent tissue has got two parts, simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Again, simple permanent tissue is divided into parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Complex permanent tissue is divided into two types, phloem and xylem. So all these are about the plant tissues. Now we have to continue the lesson studying about animal tissues. Like plants, even animals are multicellular. The cells are grouped into tissues, thereby forming organ and organ systems. So, animals have specialized cells in order to perform particular function. Animal tissue is divided into four types, that is epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. Let us study in detail about epithelial tissue. The covering or protective tissue in the animal body are epithelial tissue. It covers most organs and cavities within the body. It forms a barrier to keep different body systems separate. The skin, the lining of the mouth, the lining of the blood vessels, alveoli of lungs and kidney tubules are made up of epithelial tissue. Which are they? The lining of the mouth, lining of blood vessels, alveoli of lungs and kidney tubules are made up of epithelial tissue. These epithelial tissue cells are tightly packed and form a continuous sheet. They have only a small amount of cementing material between them. There is no intercellular spaces. Anything entering or leaving the body must cross at least one layer of epithelium. Different epithelia show different structures that correlate with a unique function. For example, in cells lining blood vessels or lung alveoli, transportation of substances is the main function. So, it occurs through a selectively permeable membrane or surface. So, there a simple flat kind of epithelium is present known as simple squamous epithelium. These cells are extremely thin and flat and form a delicate lining. The esophagus and the lining of the mouth are also covered with squamous epithelium. On the other hand, you all know about the skin. The skin protects the body. It is also made up of squamous epithelium. You all know about the speciality of the skin. The skin epithelial cells are arranged in many layers in order to prevent wear and tear. So, they are arranged in a pattern of layers. The epithelium is called stratified squamous epithelium. Now we all understood about simple squamous epithelium and stratified squamous epithelium. In case of simple squamous epithelium, only single layer of cells are present. In stratified squamous epithelium, many layers are present in order to bear the wear and tear of cells. It is present in the skin. Yes, we have already studied about simple squamous and stratified squamous epithelium. Coming to columnar epithelium, it is present in the inner lining of the intestine. You all know in the intestine, absorption and secretion occurs. So, tall epithelial cells are present. This tall epithelial cells or the pillar-like cells are called as columnar epithelium. So, in the respiratory tract, the columnar epithelial cells also have cilia or hair-like structures. So, these hair-like projections on the outer surface of the epithelial cells are called as ciliated columnar epithelium. Where it is present? It is present in the respiratory tract. Next, coming to cuboidal epithelium, almost the cells are cube-like and the nucleus is present in the middle of the cells. They form the lining of kidney tubules and in the ducts of salivary glands. It provides mechanical support. These epithelial cells sometimes add specialization to the cells where sometimes a portion of the epithelial tissue folds inwards. Okay, and multicellular gland is formed. This multicellular gland is said to be glandular epithelium. Now, you have studied about the types of epithelial tissue: simple squamous or stratified squamous, columnar or ciliated columnar, cuboidal and glandular epithelium. Which are the four types of epithelial tissue? Simple squamous, columnar, cuboidal and glandular. These stratified and ciliated are the special features of simple squamous epithelium, and ciliated columnar epithelium is the special feature of columnar epithelial cells. Let us study about connective tissue. The types of connective tissue are blood, bone, ligament, tendon, cartilage, areolar and adipose connective tissue. Coming to blood as connective tissue, blood is a type of connective tissue. The matrix may be jelly-like, fluid, dense or rigid. The nature of matrix differs in accordance with the function of the particular type of connective tissue. Blood has fluid matrix called plasma, and in plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells and platelets are suspended. The plasma contains proteins, salts and hormones. So, what is the function of the blood? Blood flows and transport gases, digested food, hormones and waste materials to different parts of the body. Next, we have to study about bone. Bone is also a type of connective tissue. It forms framework that supports the body. So, body gains the shape because of the presence of bone or the skeleton system. It also supports the muscles and the main organs of the body. It is strong and non-flexible. That means it is not flexible. Bone cells are embedded in hard matrix and it contains calcium and phosphorus. So only you must have calcium and phosphorus rich food in your diet so that your bones will be strong. Next type of connective tissue is ligament, where it connects two bones together. At the same time, the tissue is very elastic and it has considerable strength. Ligament contains little matrix in them. The next connective tissue is the tendons which connects muscles to bones. Tendons are fibrous tissue with great strength but limited flexibility. Another type of connective tissue is cartilage. It has widely spaced cells. That means it has got more space between the cells. The solid matrix is composed of proteins and sugars. Cartilage smoothens bone surfaces at joints and is also present in the nose, ear, trachea and larynx. So, your soft bone is said to be the cartilage. You have the soft bone in your nose, ear, larynx and trachea. That is said to be the cartilage, which is a type of connective tissue. We can fold the cartilage of ears, but we cannot bend the bones in our arms. So that is the difference between cartilage and bone. We can bend the cartilage, whereas we cannot bend the bones. Next is areolar connective tissue, which is found between the skin and the muscles and around the blood vessels and nerves and in bone marrow also. In bone marrow, which connective tissue is present? Areolar connective tissue is present. It fills the space between the organs or inside the organs. It supports internal organs and helps in repair of tissues. The last connective tissue is adipose tissue, which is known as fat storing tissue. It is found below the skin and in between the organs or internal organs. It has cells which has fat globules in them. So all the fat is stored in adipose tissue. Let us study in detail about muscular tissue. The cells of muscular tissue are elongated and are known as muscle fibers. They contain special proteins known as contractile proteins which can contract and relax in order to cause movement. You are able to move from one place to another because of the presence of muscular tissue which has got contractile proteins in them. Because contractile proteins contract and relax in order to cause movement. We can move some muscles by conscious will. If we want to move our limbs or hands, you can move with your will. You can stop them when we decide to stop. Such muscles are known as voluntary muscles. These muscles are also called as skeletal muscles because they are mostly attached to the bones and help in movement. Under the microscope, these muscles show alternate dark and light bands or striations. So, these muscles are also called as striated muscles. Voluntary muscles are also called striated muscles. These cells are long, cylindrical, unbranched and multinucleated. They contain many nucleus. The second one is the involuntary muscles where, for example, the movement of food in the alimentary canal and the contraction and relaxation of blood vessels are involuntary. So, they are not under the control of will. You cannot control them. If you want to stop them or start them, you cannot just do it. It is not under your control. So such muscles are known as involuntary muscles. They are also known as smooth muscles. They are also found in the iris of the eyes, in uterus, and in the bronchi of the lungs. The cells are long with pointed ends, or we can say it is spindle shaped cells. And the cells are uninucleated. They contain only one nucleus. They are also called as unstriated muscles. So we have studied about voluntary muscles and involuntary muscles now. Voluntary muscles are skeletal muscles and striated muscles. Involuntary muscles are smooth and unstriated muscles. Let us study about the special type of muscles of heart, that is the cardiac muscles. The cardiac muscles show rhythmic contraction and relaxation throughout life. They are involuntary and they are cylindrical, branched and uninucleated. So, can you see the structure of cardiac muscles? They are branched, they have nucleus, they have striations here and there. And it is very important because it starts working right from the time of birth till the end of life. So cardiac muscles are very important muscles which are involuntary in function. Let us study about nervous tissue. All cells possess the ability to respond to stimuli. Cells of the nervous tissue are highly specialized for being stimulated and then transmitting the stimulus very rapidly, that means very fast, from one place to another within the body. So if your hand feels pain, soon you will sense that. That is because of the presence of nervous tissue. The brain, spinal cord and nerves are composed of nervous tissue. The cells of this tissue is called as neuron or nerve cells. A neuron consists of a cell body with nucleus and cytoplasm, from which long thin hair-like structures arises. These hair-like structures are known as the dendrites, and this long part is known as the axon. An individual nerve cell may be up to a meter long. Many nerve fibers bound together by connective tissue to make up a nerve.